If being around people drains you, listen carefully. You are not broken, and you're probably not antisocial either. In fact, some of the most self-aware people on Earth secretly prefer being alone. And the strangest part? Most of them don't even realize why until life forces them into isolation. Because after a certain level of emotional awareness, silence starts feeling safer than noise. And if you've ever left a social event feeling mentally exhausted, needed hours alone just to recover, or felt strangely disconnected even while surrounded by people, this video is going to feel uncomfortably personal. You know what's strange? Some people can spend all day around others and feel energized, but people like you, 1 hour of forced interaction can feel mentally heavy. Not physically, mentally. Because while most people casually move through conversations, your brain absorbs everything. Tone changes, energy shifts, micro-expressions, awkward pauses, fake enthusiasm, the tension hidden behind someone's smile. And eventually, that constant processing becomes exhausting. That's why small talk drains you. Not because you're incapable of connection, because your mind craves depth. And once someone becomes emotionally aware enough, surface-level interaction starts feeling empty. But this is where things become dangerous, because the deeper your awareness becomes, the harder it is to pretend. Quick question. Have you ever felt more alone in a crowded room than when you were completely by yourself? That feeling matters, because loneliness and solitude are not the same thing. Loneliness is being emotionally disconnected. Solitude is being emotionally aligned. Huge difference. And honestly, a lot of people stay surrounded by noise because silence terrifies them. Not external silence, internal silence. Because the moment distraction disappears, they're forced to confront themselves, their insecurities, their regrets, their identity. That's why some people constantly need music, notifications, attention, validation, conversation, anything to avoid sitting alone with their thoughts. But people who enjoy solitude develop something rare: self-observation. And this is the trait most people completely misunderstand. People who enjoy being alone are often extremely self-aware, not emotionally numb, not cold, self-aware. You replay conversations in your head, not because you're weak, because your brain naturally searches for deeper meaning, patterns, intentions, subtext. Pause for a second. Do you ever analyze someone's energy more than their actual words? Exactly. That's why crowded environments can feel fake to you sometimes, because you notice how many people are performing instead of connecting. And once you start seeing that, your tolerance for superficial interaction drops dramatically. That's also why highly self-aware people usually keep smaller circles, not because they hate people, because fake connection becomes emotionally exhausting. And honestly, that level of discernment is rare now, especially in a world addicted to attention. But solitude has a hidden cost. The more emotionally aware you become, the more selective you become. Forced conversations start feeling draining. Chaos becomes unattractive. You stop chasing attention. You stop needing constant approval. And sometimes people misunderstand that. They call you distant, hard to read, too quiet, too serious. But usually, you're just protecting your peace. Because once someone experiences genuine inner calm, performing for acceptance starts feeling exhausting. Be honest. How many times have you forced yourself to socialize just so people wouldn't think something was wrong with you? Exactly. That's the pressure most self-aware people silently carry, pretending to enjoy noise that they've already outgrown. Here's the ironic part. The people who are most comfortable alone are often the hardest people to manipulate, because they don't desperately need validation. And people who don't need constant approval become psychologically powerful. They think independently. They observe carefully. They don't blindly follow crowds. They become emotionally self-contained. And that's rare now. Most people are addicted to external stimulation, external attention, external reassurance. But people who enjoy solitude slowly build an internal world strong enough to stand on its own. That's why calm people feel different. You can sense it instantly. They're not trying to impress anyone. And ironically, that authenticity makes them magnetic. Because in a world where everybody is performing, genuine presence becomes unforgettable. So maybe you've always felt different because you enjoy being alone. Hear this carefully. There's a difference between isolation caused by fear and solitude chosen for growth. One weakens you, the other transforms you. Because when you spend time alone intentionally, you begin discovering who you are without the influence of the crowd. Your real thoughts, your real personality, your real values. And most people never reach that point. They spend their entire lives distracted, constantly escaping themselves. But you sat in the silence long enough to understand yourself. That's why peace feels more attractive to you than chaos. Not because you hate people, because your nervous system values authenticity more than stimulation. And maybe that's why solitude changes people so deeply. Because when there's nobody left to impress, you finally meet your real self. So maybe you were never too quiet. Maybe you just stopped forcing yourself to belong everywhere. And maybe the rarest personality trait of all is being able to sit alone peacefully without feeling incomplete. If this video felt strangely accurate, comment solitude and save this video for the days when the world feels too loud. Because not everyone will understand your silence, but the right people will.